Welcome to the hot pot. We've been waiting for you.
Cause it's Halloween.
Hello everyone, welcome to the hot pot where we hop into different pots of spaces people find themselves in during life's transitions. I'm Joie.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Q, and you might notice that we are all dressed up as students.
Not by choice.
Not by choice, but actually I'm really happy being dressed like that.
Yeah, and also if you're listening on Spotify, please come onto YouTube just to check our outfits out. Because we're looking really cute.
Wait, people might not know the reference.
I don't even
know the reference.
It's from All of Us Are Dead, the Korean show.
I see. It's a Korean
No?
thing.
I wanted to be like three of us to be peas. There will be three peas in a podcast.
Oh, quite clever.
Okay, so today's episode is quite special.
Because it's Halloween, today we are going to be talking about our deepest, darkest. Yes.
Wow, wow,
my
hey,
God.
wow, got SFX. Eh?
Yeah, I actually like. Yeah,
I think
real.
start with trivial first lah.
Okay.
Lighthearted a bit first.
Growing up, right, I was very scared of cats.
Oh.
I had this fear of cats for the longest time. So every time we go hawker center eat, right, I will fold my legs up.
Because you scared the cat touch you.
Yeah. You know why? Because as a kid, basically my neighbor's cat scratched me before.
Oh.
Yeah, but I only got over it because my first ever job had office cats.
Oh. Yeah.
So I had no choice. I need to get over cats. Otherwise, I don't have a job.
I okay with lizard, but I don't like cockroach.
I'm okay with cockroach.
Wow. You can touch.
Can.
Like bare hands.
If no choice, can.
Wow, the hygiene questionable.
I will grab the feelers.
Wow, worse.
What? Then you want to grab the whole body?
I just feel like they're so. Oh my god! I feel in my ear.
So
They
lizards,
just feel
no.
very like.
How about we talk about the deeper
Okay, deeper fears.
fears?
I'm scared of being a bad person.
Mm.
Like I don't like being misunderstood, and I'm always afraid that I'm not a good human being. Yeah, then I'm like a waste of space. I'm very scared that I'm not living up to my potential always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You want to be deep.
I'm also scared to die after my partner.
Oh, I agree.
But like I also don't want to die before. Because if he ends up he remarry, I will haunt them forever. Like
Wait, you wouldn't want Charlie to be happy?
he should be happy with me.
Yeah, but you die anyway.
Then why wouldn't we together when we were dying?
Fair.
I mean, yeah, great. He
Facts.
can find someone else and be happy.
Yeah.
It's just that every night the light bulb ting, 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 ting,
Oh, okay.
next to her only lah.
When
Wow.
she go to wash her face, then she look up, then got the mirror.
It's just
I
you.
just
Going back to your point about not living up to your full potential
Yeah.
versus a waste of space. I feel like it's so different though.
I've had this conversation literally last week with my therapist. If I'm not at my 100% all the time, maximizing everything that I can do, then I am wasting like a life on earth. But the thing is, I don't expect that of others. So we're trying to figure out why I expect that of myself.
Just live your life, man. Don't need to think so much. Turn up and do your best.
Turn it up.
And that is
up,
all
up,
that
up.
anyone can expect of you, including
That's
yourself.
true. Yeah.
To the very like succinct answer, actually got some wisdom
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And then even if like results don't turn out the way that you had wanted them to, right? You did your best.
Linga.
My biggest fear, I think, at this point is the fear of aging and like mortality, you know. Like when I was younger, I felt like indestructible.
Dude, you're only 29 eh. Calm down,
Yeah?
yeah.
Okay, like teen years lah. Like when I
Okay.
was like 18, 19, that kind, right? I can go out, I can club like 3 times a week. Then like no hangover, nothing.
I
Same.
can't imagine it in a club. What do you do? Do you dance?
Hear that?
Do you like...
Is the what? Last time our time is what? Is
Like that?
the tectonic, you know.
Yeah,
You're damn disgusting. Recently, then I feel like, wow, after a night out, the next day, I really need one full day to like recover, or like, I'm like super weak sauce, lightweight, man. Like 2 drinks and like a bit saddy.
Can I just say that I heard that during his bachelor party, he very fast toh. It just happened like this past weekend.
Yeah.
Hearsay lah.
Hearsay. No, we started quite early because we went to like a beach club, right? So start at 5 p.m. 9 p.m. I at home. 8 p.m. I left, then took a while to get home. But 9 p.m.
okay.
9 p.m. I was in bed
Wow eh.
and like suffering the whole night.
Like why As in you're afraid of your body not working the same
Like
way or what?
I think yeah, like it's like your your mind has the desire and the will to do something, but like your body cannot. Lor. So
Limitation.
I feel like I'm very scared of that disconnect, between what your mind wants to do and your body not being able to do. And I think that fear, right, like the last time I really truly felt like, wow, like fear, right, was when I was watching The Theory of Everything. You all know or not?
Oh.
Stephen Hawking movie.
Yeah.
So I feel like my biggest fear is I get like a disease like that, which
And
like
it's out of
really
your
like,
control
you
lah.
are just trapped in your own
Yeah.
mind.
You're slowly losing
You're
yourself.
slowly
yeah.
losing yourself and things like that.
Wow, that sounds very debilitating.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a solution to like mortality. You just get bit by a vampire.
Actually, after I watched everything, then I also went to rewatch Twilight again, right? Then
You want to be Edward Cullen.
a lot of people say that like they don't want to be immortal, right? I am down for that, man.
I would not.
Live forever, okay.
Forever.
Yeah.
Gross,
But then
it's damn gross.
the point before the world ends, I die.
No, but wouldn't you want to see the world like?
I don't think you're not in solar.
Then I
You're
scared,
not
like-
in the
No, like you
in the
see like a
space.
freaking what's that thing called?
Meteor.
comet.
Yes.
A meteor.
Oh.
Coming towards us, I'll just be like.
But if it's
"Take
coming,
me."
no, there is one coming towards us now. Two something, then it will. Hit
Yeah, they
Earth.
also
So they're
say
trying to stop it
2012
now.
also world will end. Then
Do you
they got the
okay,
movie.
wait. Say real, right? Did you?
You all
really
got
think-
scared, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
no.
believe.
I tell you,
I believe
I pray every day. I really very scared.
You pray.
I was very Christian then. I really pray every day. I really, really, really
What you
pray.
pray.
Huh? I pray
How?
that He will let me live lah.
Who? Oh. Jesus.
Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Why would Jesus only let you live? If Jesus can save everyone, he'll save everyone.
No, I said like, please let us live. I said,
please.
please, I don't want
Like
to
all
die.
lah, you
Yeah, I
collective.
said
all.
like,
You say like he will let you live, then I'm like, why only let
no,
you live?
not me. Like, let us live.
Wow. I just went to bed. Then I woke up and I was like, guys, cue biggest fear.
Okay, growing up, my biggest fear was failure.
Okay.
I think a lot of people feel that the same
Yeah.
way.
Singaporean.
Singaporean, siblings doing better
Asian,
than,
yeah.
Asian
better,
household.
yeah, better than I did. But I think now it's more about like not living my authentic self. As I moved on with life, right, I was being the person that people just wanted me to be, or like what I think society wants me to be. Like we talked about having children. Was I just following society's mindset? And also, I think the way I was presenting myself on social media also. Yeah, but do you all feel the same way?
Yeah. I think as people pleasers, we want
are
to
people pleasers.
mirror what the people we are with are so that they can feel comfortable, so that they can relate. Like, because we are comfortable because they're comfortable, right? But then when you are alone and you need to relate to yourself, who is that?
Honestly, I also felt that every time I get my heart broken, I lose myself a little bit. And then I question myself, if every single time someone takes a bit of me away, right?
Then what's
who
left?
am I?
Oh,
Like, who am I? Why can't I
Yeah.
be not self-sufficient lah, I'm self-sufficient. I'm okay to be alone. Like, I'm not afraid of like going to the movies alone. I like solo traveling. I went to a concert alone. But when someone walks away from me, the loneliness hits me more than other people, I feel. So that's why I always question, like, am I being my true self lah? Like, why do I give people a bit of me each time?
I think because you being alone then becomes not a choice. Like, it was, you were dealt that hand. You know what
Like, I was abandoned or left lah.
Yeah.
So why do you think all these fears exist? Is it a sense of self-preservation, like to keep you going, survival instinct kind of thing?
I'll find that like a lot of my friends are very afraid of something, and then it's because they learn that fear from their parents. So like you see your parents get, I think intrinsically as human beings, as a baby, right, you see babies playing with cockroach and lizard, they're not scared one. But they see the mom and they're like, bear pound, then they scream, right?
Don't touch.
Yeah.
Then they're like, they learn that, oh, this is bad. Then now they fear cockroaches and lizards also. It's cultured.
Yep.
Some of these fears we learn.
I don't really understand your fear.
My fear of aging.
Yeah, I don't really understand it.
I think it's control.
Oh,
I think I'm a bit of a control freak.
He wants to excel, but his body won't let him, and then he'll feel like he wants to break out
maybe.
of it. I
this
feel
is how
like
it feels like if you have a therapist.
My therapist keeps telling me like maybe it's like that. Maybe.
Yeah, you will just agree to everything.
Sounds about right. Question party. What's a word you mispronounce one time but it still haunts you to this day?
Haunts. That word haunts.
Actually, I do have a word.
Say.
Self-deprecating, right?
Self-deprecating.
Then I think I said
Dep-
self-depreciating.
I've done that before also. What's a place people think you don't visit often but you actually do? I think people don't think that I would go watch movies alone.
No. You look like you will go watch movies alone.
Oh.
No, she does not.
As in, I feel like a few people have been shocked
yeah.
by the fact that I like to watch movies alone.
If I say like, you look like you go and watch movies alone, it means that you don't want to be bothered. Like, you care more about the craft of the film
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
than
okay.
the social aspect of watching a movie.
And I think when people say you don't look like you watch movies alone, right? It sometimes implies that you cannot be alone.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't look like you can eat alone.
yeah. That means
That's
you
an
need
insult.
people. Yeah.
Ah.
It's
That's
more
an
of an insult, I think.
Describe your TikTok FYP. It's a lot of food, a lot of animals, a lot of like funny.
Don't bluff lah,
videos.
it's otter straps.
No trust, her TikTok FYP.
My
funny.
TikTok FYP is goated. Like the funniest memes, and then got like astrology. Suddenly got like tarot card reading one.
Okay, so let's.
Wait, don't it? Then what?
What?
Stop.
What?
So, what was your biggest fear adopted from childhood?
I remember the first deep fear I had, and I remember the exact moment. It was death. This happened when I was about 5 or 6 years old. And my dad was tasked with the job to read me a bedtime story. And he made the mistake of introducing death as a concept to me. So during the story, he said, oh, then they died. Then I said, what does die? What happens when you die? He said, oh, when you die, you can choose, you want to be cremated, you want to be buried. And I was like, oh, what's all these things? He was like, oh, when you're cremated, it means they put you in fire, then they burn your body, then the ashes your families can keep. And I'm like, I don't want to be burned. And he said, you won't feel anything. I said, but you burn my body, like what would be left? He said, your bones. He was explaining everything to me very correctly lah. But as a child, obviously you think that if you are burned, you feel everything. What? I grew very fearful of dying. And that's when I made the choice to have kids before I was 30.
Why?
Because I don't want my kids to fear my death too young.
You got 2 more years Sorry.
Include
Sorry.
9 months means you need to get pregnant in 1 year, 3 months.
You hear that, Charles?
Oh.
Get working. No, I'm kidding. I just felt very scared that my parents will die and I'll be a kid still. That's what I was afraid of. My dad made a mistake and he said, yeah, one day mommy and I will die also. Then
Can I just say, every time our parents say like, yeah, we'll end up dying, like we'll die soon, I'll cry.
yeah.
I've also had many dreams of my dad specifically passing away.
Oh.
And I'll wake up like bawling my eyes
Yeah.
out. And speaking of my dad, right, I think one of my other fears is that he'll become paralyzed because he always experienced sleep paralysis. And he'll be like screaming for us in his sleep sometimes, like
Wow.
muffled. I also have a lot of sleep paralysis, by the way. Like what you said, stuck in your body and your mind is working. So it gives you a glimpse of like what it would be. So when my dad is struggling, I always end up like running towards him, right? And like trying to wake him up. But I always fear that he wouldn't
Wake up.
move
Oh.
or wake up. Yeah, because it has happened multiple times.
Do you have an altar at home?
No.
So interesting. Okay, no, because sleep paralysis is a...
No lah,
feel
it's
like it's a
scientifically
spiritual thing.
No lah.
Yeah, it's
I
scientific.
feel like it's spiritual. I don't know.
No lah. Scientifically proven.
It's also spiritually proven.
What is spiritually proven?
First fundamental question, do you believe in spirits?
Nope.
Okay, I believe in spirits or like things existing. But whether they're good or bad, I don't really know.
Okay.
I have a story
Yeah.
Like,
that I found out a few years ago.
Okay.
Every night when I was around 4 to 5, I would cry around midnight. And then it has happened for so many days that they don't know what's going on. Like they thought like I was just having a nightmare. Then there was this one fine night, my mom brought me to a supermarket. So there was this ama lah, like old lady, staring at my mom and I. And then she sat for really long and she came up to my mom and she said, in Mandarin lah, bring your daughter, go to the temple.
always go temple, but okay.
My mom was like, oh, why? Then she said there's something following her. Just for like safety reasons and like no harm, right? Just go to the temple, pray, and then I got this like, amulet lah, tied around my neck. Ever since then, I stopped crying.
Has it carried over any fears into adulthood?
I'm not gonna lie, I've had of 2 experiences where I don't know whether I was dreaming or like slightly awake, where I saw someone in my room. I just like close my eyes. I just like, go back to sleep. Like if
Can
I
you
wake
see
up,
a face? Or you just see a figure?
I saw a figure, like a girl standing in the corner of my room.
So when I was younger, I think I believed. My childhood home, there were some instances where I thought that something had happened. Like people would be knocking on my door, then like there's nobody at home, that kind of thing. When we were moving out of that house, my uncle was helping to move some stuff while my parents were overseas. So then they started to ask my mum like, hey, got anything before or not? And apparently there were multiple helpers who would tell my mum or my dad that like got something in the house. And all these helpers never talk to each other cause like one come and one go kind of thing, right? But they always say like there's something in the house. And then after that in NS, there was one night also where I thought that in my bunk during BMT always BMT, right?
Yeah.
I thought that I saw like a figure in the corner of my bunk. Then at the time I was very, very tired. Then when I saw a figure, then I was just like, I think I just tired or I dreaming. Then after that I felt like something blowing in like someone like on my face.
Actually, it's your friend now.
So
Surprise me.
after that I was really just like I'm very tired leave me alone. Then it just stopped.
You said it out loud.
But then
People in the bunk think crazy.
Then there was one day where I was like, actually, do I believe or do I not believe? Then I decided I don't believe. I went back to like all these different experiences, right? Then you realize that they can actually be logically and rationally explained. Like you are just tired, you are dreaming, you feel something else, maybe it's the fan. So until the day where something shows up in front of me, I see with my own eyes, I know I'm awake, right? And then I got one other person with me to like validate and prove
Cross-check.
irrefutable evidence, right? Then I believe.
For me, I'm a very spiritual person and I believe in a spiritual realm and a different plane of existence. This happened during Sec 2 Adventure Camp. One of my close friends, she started looking very distraught during the camp. And she came to me and she said like, I see a girl. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't like this. Let's pray. I really was not.
Always right.
Yeah, always pray. Our Lord Savior Jesus Christ. The next morning, we were on our camp activities and we saw a whiteboard. So we asked the counselor about it. And they told us that that year for that camp, there was a girl who committed suicide in the toilet. So then in my head,
This
I'm like,
counselor, very
like-
questionable.
now you just validated that there's a girl because my friend keeps seeing a girl, right?
Mm.
I woke up to commotion because the toilet door was locked. Okay, the thing is, when a door is locked, right, when you turn, it should be able to stop. Like, it will stop. You cannot turn, right? It is locked. You can turn, but when you push, there's something stopping the door from opening. So that's when we knew it ain't locked, right? Because we kept trying to turn it and it would turn all the way. But once we push, there's a pushback. So we're like, what's going on? At this point, I've sung every praise and worship song possible. And like when the door flung open, my friend ran out. Like I never see her run so fast in my life. And I immediately ran after her. And then I said, what happened? She said when the door flung open, the girl was on the toilet. You know the toilet store is like quite high, the door. She was like that on the store, staring right at her. And then like flew or charged towards my friend. That's what she said to me lah.
It's giving Harry Potter ghost.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Moaning Myrtle.
so scared. And you know what's the scariest part? When the toilet door opened, right, the floor was full of panty liners.
No way. You saw?
I saw.
Sec 2 I use panty liner already.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see the panty liner. I saw the wrapper.
So it's just
I saw
whether like
rappers.
is the
Maybe
people
someone
in the
play
camp
prank,
one lah. Yeah
Maybe
lah.
someone play prank.
TLDR here is that this is a gross mismanagement of a secondary school camp by counselors. There was probably nothing. Toilet door was probably just stuck, and then the panty liner is they never clean the toilet properly.
How do you think our fears have affected us?
I think the main one that's very obvious is like my fear of the ocean and open water, right? That means that I won't go diving. Inherently, I feel like I am quite a adventurous like person when it comes to travel and things like that. So when you think of like someone that like wants to go and like sightsee and like
New
go on
experiences.
adventure, right? People always say, oh, you go diving. But it has never appealed to me. I think it's this sort of trade-offs like, oh, because of that fear, then you cannot experience something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, I have reconciled that I don't
It's
need to
okay.
experience that.
As you can let go of some things in life. Like.
Yeah, not worth it. Because I'm not enjoying myself.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have a debilitating fear of needles. I know it doesn't look like it. Like I'm covered in tattoos and piercings.
Yeah.
But my last injection, right, was when I was 12.
Huh?
Sorry?
Before COVID.
Oh.
Before COVID. Once the vaccine happens, I really don't know how I can bring myself to go and get injected. My fear of injections is very like panic attack. Like I cannot breathe, I cannot speak, cannot hear. Like it's very bad. So I was almost hoping that the vaccine wouldn't be made.
Or like tablet lah, you know.
Yeah, so I've actually said before, like if I need to give birth and need to inject me, right, you knock me out first. To be honest, it was very difficult having this conversation also because with my tattoos and my piercings, right, people be like, yeah, you'll be fine one lah. And I don't know how to explain that. It's really very bad to the point where like I feel like I would rather die.
So you see tattoos and piercings, the needle as like a different needle to like injection needle.
It is different.
It is different.
There's
lah.
no like
stabbing.
and it only goes through the first 2 or 3 layers of
Right,
your
right.
skin, right?
So you are able to rationalize that fear lah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was very scared of tattoos at first. Piercings, I actually passed out when I got my nose and my ear piercings done. My body just doesn't handle pain very well. So when I got my nose piercing done, I actually like blacked out.
And you're okay with that? Like you go into it knowing that you're gonna pass out?
It's cute.
That means it has not held you back lah. Essentially. Yeah.
I was very scared still lah. Yeah.
Okay, which brings us to our next point, right? With you being scared of pain but having tattoos and piercings, do you think it's necessary to try to overcome your fears? Or can you just maintain scared and scared?
Exposure therapy, right, is something that does not work for every fear.
Exposure therapy is
Tell
what?
him about exposure therapy.
So if you're scared of something, then you just go and be exposed to it to help you get over it. For example, so for her was cats. She had to be exposed to cats. It's a bit drastic because it might send you into a state of shock if your phobia is like very serious.
Some people have social anxiety or like they're afraid to speak to people, right? So they go around like making
talking to
friends.
strangers,
Making friends with strangers.
Some therapists will give you homework, exposure therapy,
Wow.
like talk to 5 strangers today and come back with information on them.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that kind of works. Because when I was younger, I had a case of like very bad food poisoning where I was hospitalized for 2 weeks.
Okay, I'm
Then-
waiting for the.
At that point of time, I was very scared of needles and injections also. But then that one, every 2 hours, draw blood. After the 2 weeks, no feeling
But
already.
then that one also not your choice.
Yeah lah. But
But that's
exposure
definitely exposure.
exposure therapy, right?
I'm not even kidding, they would have to knock me out to draw my blood.
Yeah.
Like, okay, practically, I needed to get over that fear of needles. I feel like not all fears need to be like overcome. You know, like if it's not hindering your daily life, it's not inconveniencing the people around you, it's not causing you anxiety or distress, then I think it's fine.
Some people they have rational phobias that are taken to a very extreme like state lah.
Yeah.
So the fear of dying, for example, there are people who they fear dying so much that they don't go out.
They don't live their best life.
No,
Yeah.
they just stay at home.
Yeah.
Like they don't dare to go out catch diseases and things like that, or they fear germs, you know.
Yeah.
Then they stay in the bubble.
You're sabotaging your own life lah.
Yeah.
Experiences.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to have like a fear of like dying, because that's just like self-preservation, right?
Yeah.
But not to the extreme law.
Don't let the fear control your life.
Okay, guys, do you think fears are important to have actually?
Yes.
I think
Why?
to a certain extent.
There's a quote by Victor Hugo. He says, "Caution is the eldest child of wisdom." I feel like fear is not always a bad thing. Just like anger is not a bad emotion. Fear is not a bad emotion either. It's instinctive. Like some animals are literally colored a certain way, like frogs, to warn you that they're poisonous. It's natural instinct. Like, right? Sometimes you see, you enter a place or a shop and you feel something's off. That's your instincts telling you like something's not right. You know?
Mine is more like a simple everyday thing. Like, for example, going to the gym or like trying boxing classes or trying snowboarding, right? I've always been very fearful of these things, like breaking my leg. But I think because of my fear, I'm pushed to try these things because it's a reminder that like I'm not doing the things that I want to do because I'm scared.
Right.
You get what I mean?
So you're challenging yourself,
Yeah.
essentially. So there's a lot of talk about fears. Wow, now I'm scared that we have too much content.
You scared? You
I'm scared.
fearful?
Y'all watch on TikTok for more content.
Yeah, actually, I never thought that like we would have so much to talk about with fears also.
When it comes to rational or irrational fears, right, what might be rational for one person might be completely irrational for other people.
Yeah.
So don't judge other people's fears. They are there for a reason. And don't let your fears control you, even though it's perfectly normal to have a healthy amount of fear of different things.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when your friends are sharing fears with you, I think it's important to be mindful and respectful that, you know, your experiences might not be the same, but it's still validated. You know? Yeah.
If they say got ghost, means got ghost lah.
Maybe it's a dream, then it's a dream. Lor.
Yes.
Yeah. I fear that our episode has come to an end. Thank you so much for listening to us today on The Hot Pot. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Me Listen.
And subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.
And let us know as well, what are your biggest and smallest, most irrational, rational fears in the comments down below. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
I have had bad dreams about me drowning.
Do you believe in past lives?
Inyon?
What just happened?
You don't know what Inyon is it?
No.
You never watched Past Lives?
No.
Oh, then no one got the reference.
Except the crew apparently.
Oh.